It's still June 13th. There's 6 weeks to the trade deadline. We'll see how the Mets play. I think at this point it's going to be very hard for them to chase down the Braves. The Braves are just very good. But that wild card race in the National League is going to be a muddle. Remember last year, the Phillies got in with 87 wins, if memory serves. You had the Padres and Brewers there with 86 and 85. It's going to take that kind of number this year. I think it's going to be very hard for the Mets to fall out of a race where the wild card teams are only going to win 85 to 89 games. But if they were to do so, Cohen put Billy Eppler in a position to make decisions. Billy Epler's a smart guy, didn't really have a good situation in Anaheim. I think he's in a better spot now. And if he goes to Cohen and say, hey, look, we can't get it done this year. Let's put our focus into 2024. I think we'll do that. One thing I will say, though, is I don't think the Mets will go into a full rebuild. If you look at every decision they've made the last couple of years, it's been with this window of 23 and 24. I think they try to improve the 24 team, but I don't think they go into a tank mode, a rebuild mode, looking for 25 and beyond. They're still going to have a short-term focus.
Who do you think's on the hotter seat, Buck Showalter or Billy Eppler? Only because as a GM, you are giving all of the resources. And for Billy, I mean, it's not been a long time for him, of course, but the pieces aren't there right now for a championship team, even though they've spent a lot. And I will say, yeah, tough situation with the Angels because you have a helicopter owner there in Artie Moreno, but he had one of the worst off seasons at one point. You remember that off season? It was Matt Harvey, Cody Allen. There was like 5 or 6 others that were combined like close to $40 million. I think that was the offseason that they could have gotten Cole instead, and they didn't go up to the number that the Yanks had. So not to shit on one guy, but I'm saying, like, if this continues for the Mets, someone's going to take a fall, and I'm not sure it should be Buck.
Yeah, I mean, Buck won 101 games last year. The fact that it ended up being a tie for the division, they had to play in the wild card race, the first time a tie had not been settled on the field in baseball history. I don't really think I can hold that against him. Typically, the order of events is the GM fires the manager and gets that one more year. So typically, Eppler would fire Buck, and then, Eppler would get 1 year under whoever takes over the job. Maybe AJ gets the job, and they'd see if they won next year, and then you'd fire the GM. Firing the GM and keeping the manager in place is the more unusual thing to do.